Hi, this is Mike from Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and on today's video we can take a look to see what kind of PC we can build in May 2024 for around about £600. Now, all of the items will be generally available in most places, although I am in the UK, so some things will be different overseas. I'll try and put links in the video description and also a link to the PC part picker list that we'll be going through, so you can check out for yourself and make modifications if you want to follow along and build this sort of PC. Now, unfortunately, as things have progressed from, well, about 4 years ago, we all know what happened then, things haven't really got a great deal better, and technology hasn't really moved on a great deal in terms of raw performance for the money. So is it worth splashing out on a very new generation PC and spending thousands of pounds, or potentially is it more prudent to buy something a little bit lower spec, around about the sort of £600 mark, and get something which will still play games at 1080p very happily, and still have a little bit of headroom for upgrades? Potentially that might be a better choice for you. Anyway, with all that said, let's head over to the PC and we'll go through the list of parts which I've selected. So this is our PC part picker list, as you can see, May 2024 for 600 quid or thereabouts. The total is £607. This obviously will fluctuate from day to day, but again, there will be links in the video description so you can follow along for yourself. And also, I would strongly suggest, if you've got any opinions or alternative items which you'd rather put into your build, please do let me know in that comment section below, and I'll try and answer each one of your questions. So it starts off with the processor. So processor-wise, we've gone with the tried and trusted method of AM4. So this is the AMD Ryzen 5600. This at the moment from Amazon.co.uk is available for about £113. It has been a little bit lower, and also if you follow the eBay deals and also the deals in our Discord, you may have found it cheaper. There was an option from Amazon Germany, I believe it was, for somewhere around the £90 mark. So there is a little bit of wiggle room here. Potentially you can get this a little bit cheaper. This is a great processor, 6 cores, 12 threads, decent IPC, and still can hold its own in the modern world with AM5 and Intel chipsets. As you can see from the rating on the side here, so 5-star ratings, it's got 94% of 5-star ratings, which gives you some idea of how popular this processor actually is. Now, the processor does actually come with its own stock cooler, so if you want to reduce the price a little bit, you can leave out having a separate cooler, but in my experience, in terms of noise levels and also a little bit of extra performance headroom, it's always worth looking at putting an additional aftermarket CPU cooler on your rig. Now, this one here is the Thermalright Assasin X Refined SE ARGB. This is a great little cooler. You can pick these up for under £20 in the majority of stockists. And from this one, well, there's not many ratings, only 14, but they are 100%. And I don't blame them. This is a fantastic cooler, very easy to install, minimal noise, and pretty decent performance. Optionally for that, you may want to take a look at the Arctic cooling, the Freezer A36. That in itself is an excellent cooler and can be had from anywhere between about £15 to £30, depending on when you're shopping. There has been some significant discounts on that particular range from Arctic recently, although prices are due to go up, so they will fluctuate. But if you can pick up a Freezer 36, I would strongly suggest it if it's within the right price bracket. We have done a separate review on that cooler if you want to check it out. Next, we're going to look at our motherboard. So when it comes to the motherboard, now obviously you can go very, very cheap and cheerful on this and pick up a board for around about £50, which will just basically get the job done. I've gone with this one, the ASROCK B550 Pro ATX, or Pro 4 ATX rather. This is actually a really nice little board, 4 RAM slots, reasonable heatsink over the VRM. You've also got some M.2 shields, lots of PCI Express slots. We've got addressable RGB built in. So it's a pretty nice all-round board, and based on the B550 chipset, you're going to get the most out of your Ryzen processor, and also potentially any other PCI Express Gen 4 devices you choose to add on, such as your M.2 drive or a graphics card. In terms of I/O, this is a relatively basic board, but all the bases are covered. We have got gigabit LAN, basic audio output, a few USB 3.0 ports, and also a USB Type-C. And also there's an HDMI port if you wanted to put a G-series processor on here, although I think for most people they'll probably ignore that. You'll also notice there is actually a Wi-Fi bracket there installed on the board, so you can pick up a cheap M.2 E-key Wi-Fi card and add that to give this board the Wi-Fi and Bluetooth you might need. As you can see from pricing here at the moment, currently in the UK, if you go to amazon.co.uk, you can pick this up for just under £85, and it's a little bit lower than its original pricing, around about the £100, £120 mark. And of course, you can choose other boards. I would probably be looking at the MSI B550 Gaming Plus. I feel that board offers a little bit more in terms of functionality and also ports, but it does cost about £15 to £20 more. Again, you can spend lots more money if you want to, but I think really being that AM4 is somewhat of a dead or dying platform, it's probably not worth spending a huge amount on those boards. Again, let me know what you think in the comments. Next up, we're going with RAM. Now, the RAM at the moment is in somewhat flux of pricing. So we've got some Patriot Viper Steel here. This is available from CCL here in the UK and also from Amazon for somewhere around the sort of £40 mark. CCL is currently the best value here at the moment for $36.98. Again, you will see prices all over the place for RAM, and there's quite often deals that come up, which are often posted on our Discord, which you're more than welcome to join. I think 16 gigs is a pretty decent amount at the moment. This is only DDR4 3200. Ideally, I would have liked 3600 with that CL16 timings, but I think this is going to be absolutely fine. Also, when it comes to storage, now you can go with PCI Express Gen 4. You are going to pay a slight premium, and M.2 drives, NVMEs have gone up in price quite dramatically recently due to world events, etc. We could have picked up this drive not so very long ago, and in fact when we reviewed it, it was down to around the £35 mark. So there has been a significant increase in storage. Ultimately, if you want to spend less and get a smaller drive, you can do, but I think that's possibly going to be a false economy. Again, let me know what you think in the comments section. Now, the real star of the show, or the kind of centerpiece of this particular system build, is going to be the graphics card. And this isn't anything tremendously outrageous in terms of pricing. We've gone for the Sapphire Pulse Radeon RX6600 8GB card. I think buying less than an 8GB card in 2024 is probably not the best of ideas, especially with a lot of modern games relying more and more on VRAM. Ideally, if you can, go for something a little bit better. Maybe spend a few more pounds and get something like the 6700 12GB if you possibly can, or maybe an RTX 3060 12GB. I think that extra VRAM buffer will be helpful going forward. These cards at the moment, somewhere around the £200 mark, although I have seen on the used market, actually today on Facebook Marketplace, a Radeon RX6600, the Eagle Gigabyte version, which again we've seen before, for £110. It was reduced from 140 from someone, and it is boxed and it looks to be absolutely fine. So potentially the used market might be the way to go for your graphics card, but I know there's a lot of you out there that don't like to buy second-hand parts because you don't know if they've been used, abused, etc. And also for that extra money you do get a warranty. Now, the case is going to be something down to the individual. I think this one here, the Montech X3 Mesh, actually offers a lot of value for money. It's a nice looking case. You've got a side door there. You've also got included fans. I think it comes with 3, not 6, so the picture is slightly misleading. But nice case overall, and it fits in with our aesthetic for the rest of the build, with the motherboard being a little bit white and black. So yeah, could match in nicely. Like I said, there's loads of other options available on the market, but I think this is a pretty good point if you're looking at spending around about £50 on a case, which is somewhere in the region of about 10% of our total budget. I think that's going to be absolutely fine. Of course, go nuts if you want to get a much bigger and nicer case with more features, feel free to do so, but I think this is a pretty decent starting point. Power supplies are another big problem at the moment, very expensive in a lot of places. The days of the budget PSU have somewhat gone, and I think realistically for this sort of build, which is going to be using somewhere in the region of about 300 watts, maybe 350 watts, going for a 700 watt semi-modular with a bronze certification is probably a good shout. This one comes in at the moment from AWD IT for £45, and also can be picked up slightly more expensive from overclockers and amazon.co.uk and also CCL. So that is a pretty decent offer at the moment. AWD IT actually have some good deals on power supplies pretty much all the time, so worth checking them out if they're not somewhere you usually go to. Also, going forward, if you do want to spec out a slightly nicer power supply with PCI Express Gen 5 and also ATX 3.0 or 3.1, you can spend more now and transfer that power supply at a later date to your newer rig, should you choose to upgrade. But I do think for people that are spending around about this sort of price for a new PC, around about £600, they're possibly not thinking too far into the future. They just want to get gaming on a relatively modest budget. This one being semi-modular is a little bit easier to cable manage. Again, that case may not have the best of cable management options, so that might be helpful later on down the line. Again, with power supplies, there's an absolute ton on the market to choose from. I think for the rest of the parts in this build, and also the price we're looking at, and also the current market conditions, I think this is a pretty good shout. So that brings us with a total at the moment, as of the 8th of May 2024, of £607. Now, we haven't included a Windows license here. If you do want to pick up a Windows license, most of you, if you're used to watching the channel, will know that we use premiumcdkeys.com/Mike's Unboxing, where you can pick up your Windows 10 or Windows 11 professional license keys for generally under £3. I'll leave links for that in the video description as always. Of course, if you want to, you can run your Windows operating system unlicensed. You will lose out on some of the features and modifications for your desktop and all those other sorts of things, and that annoying nagware saying, please can you license your Windows. So if you want to avoid that, you can do very cheaply. For anyone who's looking at building a PC and you're looking at Windows licenses online and you're seeing them around about £100, please do not buy one of those. It really is a massive waste of money, especially if you're putting together a budget-based system. So there you go, there are some options to put together a PC for somewhere in the region around about £600 as of the time of filming, May 2024. This hasn't really changed a great deal from the last time we did it for our £600 build. Some things have changed a little bit. So previously we would have used a Ryzen 3600, which was the go-to processor at the time for those on a little bit of a budget. And I think the 5600 is actually a very good improvement over that in terms of IPC and just raw performance. It does add a lot of bang for the buck. The graphics card may be the slight sticking point. Not everybody is a fan of AMD graphics cards, and I appreciate that. But in terms of budget cards for especially the Nvidia range at the moment, there isn't really a great deal to choose from. Yes, on the used market, you can pick up things like the RTX 3060 Ti, which is a fantastic card. You can pick those up pretty much all day long for around about the £200 mark, sometimes as low as £150, sometimes as much as £250, so they do fluctuate wildly. And potentially you might be able to squeeze an RTX 3070 for some in the region of about £250. So this being around about £200, if you want to spend that little bit extra, you will get a significant increase in speed if you're looking at the used market. But again, a lot of you don't like to buy second-hand parts, and I totally appreciate that. So there you go, there are the parts that I've chosen and my reasoning behind them. Please do let me know in the comment section what your thoughts are. I'm really interested to hear them. And also, if you've seen any spectacular bargains, please do let us know in the comments, or better still, head over to our Discord and post them in the Bargains No chat room so we can all share your deals. So I think that's going to wrap this one up. I've been Mike, this is Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and hopefully we'll catch you when things get better. Thanks for watching.